Hey guys, it's me, esteemed commentator Pom Pai. I've been in this community for as long as I've been alive, and I'll be in it until I die. Today we're doing a commentary on Pokasonic Legend. I think I've heard of them before. They're that little yellow guy, right? They're doing a co-op with the other esteemed commentator Kagura 101 Dalmatians. Today's commentary will also be a challenge video. We're gonna see if I can finish the video before the cancerous tumors reach my brain. Let's begin. Ah, yes, just enjoying me a nice sunny morning in the lovely gated community of Unity Cube, Italy.
Ah, what a lovely day in Greece.
The cricket hordes are devouring my flesh! Get them off me!
The sun is shining, the windmills are slowly spinning.
What you talking about? That windmill is static and has not moved 1 nautical mile! I would liken the movement of that windmill to that of a lethargic, paralyzed child that has been frozen in a cube of ice.
And there's a great ocean view to the horizon.
An ocean view of the horizon, as opposed to an ocean view of Naples.
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Well, when you put it like that...
Something has gone horribly wrong! A British man is here! They're gonna colonize Italy!
Something is bound to come along and ruin your picturesque Greek vacation.
Nothing could go wrong at all. Not even the cynical demon baller that you contracted one day can ruin it.
Oh my god, it's so hard having paid help wait on you hand and foot. When will the working class down in the mines realize how bad I have it?
I do happen to have a name, my dear.
Sebastian, just let me enjoy this while it lasts.
After this conversation, I'm going to blow up Greece.
I didn't have to go to an airport for this chance of a lifetime.
Gosh, I can't believe I have to fall from this portal. Why does no one understand me?
Wait, why was the crash louder than your scream?
I should have tested the portal up for myself instead of being cocky.
Well, at least you ended up in Apollos instead of the chess dimension.
I thought we were in Greece.
Now I am in the chess dimension.
Wait, what the heck is a chess dimension? I was just minding my own business after Raven broke into my house. But at least Raven also saved my life, and now I'm on a mission to find the Amazon warehouse to sell a tea for body pillow.
Exposition! Exposition! Spare exposition for the poor!
By the way, who are you?
Oh, I'm Pokey.
Ah, tell me more about yourself, stranger!
But you can just call me Pokey.
You call yourself the ultimate designer and you can't even design your own intro graphic?
And as for the chess dimension, it's a long story about betrayal, murder, and memes. Mostly memes, if I'm being honest.
No, do not be honest. I insist your lies power me!
Plus, I still don't know what that place even is exactly.
I would have to assume some sort of dimension of chess.
Alright, and who is this person right next to you?
Oh, where are my manners? Let me introduce you to my friend Bush!
He's Sebastian Michaelis, a butler from Victorian England. To put it in the most simple terms I can.
To put it in the most complicated terms I can, 1837.
He's...
You dare steal my young master's food?
My man's is just standing there. Free my man, Gull. He did nothing wrong.
Very well then. From one murder to another, I'll be sure to feast.
Do you eat birds or something, bro? What's wrong with you? Like, I'm worried. Like, you eat birds? Like, what the heck?
Certainly something.
Well, at least he ain't a thief. It is so nice to meet you, Poke. I do have a question if you don't mind me asking.
Everyone got good?
Is it about how strange my life has gone to not find people falling off portals the weirdest thing I've seen?
Why do you have to make everything about yourself? Maybe he just wanted to know if you had a euro on you.
Well, that, and also, do you happen to know where the Amazon warehouse is? I have a package to deliver.
I don't know. Have you checked the mail?
Well, I don't quite know where that place is. Not exactly the best of directions myself, but I'd be more than willing to... help you find it?
What the fuck was that?
Hold on a moment. I shall be back in a few seconds.
Let me guess. You're gonna find commentary material to stop the world from shaking, right?
It already stopped. Are you blind and deaf?
Well, I do have good news. The world hasn't ended.
And the bad news is...
Some absolute imbecile has unleashed Dark Gaia from its slumber and caused the Earth to be split apart.
Oh, that was me. Sorry. I just wanted to go get a midnight snack. Didn't think I'd wake up the whole house. You know what I mean?
Oh, so that explains why the world was shaking. It's split in half.
Now, it hasn't been split in half. It was split into 7 large pieces.
Now, I don't know what they teach you where you're from, but in America, we call those the continents of the world. Oh, sorry, my walking stick bumped the record player. Let me put the needle back on.
Well, I didn't think we were going to reenact the plot to Sonic Unleashed while trying to have a vacation, but I guess we're doing that now. Fantastic.
I'm sorry that for once you have to experience the problems plaguing the world instead of just watching them from your ivory tower. You make me sick.
Wait a minute. What if we made a deal? I'll help you reenact the plot of Sonic Unleashed and fix the Earth, but in return, you'll help me find Amazon's location.
Let me strike a deal real quick. You will give me $1 million, and in return, I will give you 2 Ritz crackers.
How does that sound?
You know what? Sure, we can do that. Just know that repairing the Earth is gonna have to come before delivering packages to Amazon.
That sounds fair.
Well, I did manage to find a video while I was checking to see what was going on. I suppose you two might find some use for it?
What am I supposed to do with that?
Wait, is that someone responding to Tony Sonic?
Wait, isn't that the person you were just talking to, Tony Sonic Legend?
I think it should be easy. Tony content tends to be spiteful. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, that was certainly something.
Well, that just happened.
Given our avatars changed, I wouldn't be surprised if the holy and or unholy butlers thought this is worthwhile material.
What could possibly go wrong? Quite a lot, my dear Watson.
Don't rub it in.
Alright, you two. Please try to get along while we head to Spagonia.
I made a point to burn all of the photographs.
Anyways, that's every single piece of content in the video destroyed with my iron gaze. What a waste of time. I'm getting too old of this. I must retire from commentaries. But you remember what I said at the start? I've been in this community for as long as I've been alive, and I'll be in it until I die. I'll see you all in hell. Let me fall out of the window.
Okay, so I changed my mind. This is a serious video now, actually. Partially because I feel bad about blueballing like cumulative 6 fans with another joke com, but mostly because I do actually want to give some thoughts here and there about the original videos, so whatever, we're speaker box love bellowing this video now. If you don't like it, then don't watch it. I'll just start by giving my overall thoughts on the commentary. I thought it was kind of mid. Like, it's not bad. The points were mostly okay, but I don't really think there was anything new that someone who is familiar with Shy's content hadn't heard before, you know? As someone generally familiar with Destroyer Shy's type of video, mostly against my own will, I don't feel like I gained much from watching this. It's not really helped by the fact that, in my opinion, most of the humor doesn't do much for me, so it's kind of hard to justify sitting through it for over an hour. I might recommend it to someone who wasn't familiar with anything Destroyer Shy had made, but that's about it. And, I don't really have any more general thoughts I can explain without showing specifics from the video, so let's just start the ding-dang commentary. How about it? Okay, so they start off by playing all of Shy's opening statements, then go on to criticize her for being overly long and excessively padded.
Why did it take 3 whole minutes to make your introduction? I get that you had a long history with Tony Sonic. Heck, I've seen the comment section from Tony long enough before you got banned to know that. But goddamn, you could have just mentioned the important stuff and get straight to the point without wasting time.
But I feel the need to ask, what exactly was the point in playing out the clip in full if you admit that most of it didn't need to be there? Now, they do speed it up to cut down the runtime, so like fair is fair, but even then, that's still 2 minutes of mostly dead air. Now, I get that you kinda need to show this for context, but I don't know, I still feel like there was a more more graceful way to go about this. You could just snip out all the specific portions that are required for context and ditch the rest. And besides, this particular interjection is more about Destroyer Shy's presentation than it is about any specific statements she made, so most of this isn't even needed for context. As is, it just results in your own commentary having the same issues you criticize, with the video just grinding to a halt to let Destroyer Shy waffle for minutes on end about nothing in particular.
And in regards to your subtitles, while I can appreciate them being there for the sake of accessibility and making it easier to understand what you're saying with our robotic voice filter, the execution of them is a little lackluster. Sometimes you bunch what you're saying into a paragraph, which makes it harder to read with both its size and aspect ratio, or other times it ends up too small to read. My advice would be to put subtitles for each sentence rather than clip it all into paragraphs, and make sure they're sized properly as well.
Okay, this is a good point, but then editor Kagura had the opportunity to go in and re-edit the source video, and he made it look like this.
And Whiskers dying? No thanks, I think I'll pass. And besides, Poke and I made a deal about it, so get back to work!
Well, you are not my master, Kagura. I only take orders from Lady Poke. Actually, I don't have a proper insult for you at the moment. Allow me to look at this dictionary I have on hand for inspiration.
I'm winner!
Oh, did you forget your basic grammar etiquette when you aimed for that comeback? How cute.
Having you two in close proximity to each other was a mistake.
Hey, it's not my fault I appeared this place in the first place.
Okay, Poke, question. Are your fingers, like, glued to the keyboard or something? Because I genuinely don't understand why these sections of interaction between Kagura and the British character I don't care about are as overwritten as they are, especially since they don't communicate anything more complicated than—
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Every morning there's a halo hanging from the corner.
This is something that's always peeved me. He's clearly laughing in a ha 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 way, but the subs read his traditional ho ho ho.
Look, does it really matter? Unless you're Santa Claus, a laugh is a laugh, whether it's a ha or a ho.
It's more like the subtitles are incorrect. Granted, it's not really important in the grand scheme of things, but it's still a flaw.
Actually, having taken a look at the script of Sonic Unleashed via the Sonic News Network, it is in fact supposed to be oh ho ho and not ha ha ha, which means it's really just Eggman's VA not following the script and the subtitles not being updated to suit the change.
Okay, this is literally nothing. You aren't saying that the subtitles aren't incorrect, you're just saying a potential reason it could be incorrect, which doesn't even go against anything Shy said. Besides, I'd have to contest if the reason you gave even is correct, because what you sourced isn't the actual official script for Sonic Unleashed, but rather a fan script from the Sonic Wiki, which, as far as I can tell, there's no evidence that it was based on an actual official script. Now, this isn't really evidence that it isn't based on an official script of some sort, but looking through the page's edit history, there's a lot of tinkering with some minor details that you think wouldn't be there if they were just copy-pasting it from somewhere else, such as how they changed Sonic the Werehog to just Werehog when referring to Sonic in the Werehog form. So the way I see it, the foundation for this point is pretty flimsy.
Now to respond to Tony here, yes, it actually does matter considering that the tone can be important to what you're trying to say.
But like, is it? At least in this example? Because either way, both versions of the laugh would still be getting across evil laughter. The only difference in tone would be telling the player whether Eggman is Santa Claus or not.
Charlie's question was that if Eggman voice actor was following the script or not.
No, that's what Poke said, but go off.
Even with that, there's a massive difference between joyful and evil laughter.
Okay, that's arguably not true. The whole point of evil laughter is that an evildoer is taking so much joy in doing evil that their mirth cannot be contained within their vessel and they burst out laughing. But even then, this is completely disconnected to anything that's going on because, again, both versions of the laugh would be forms of evil laughter. I don't see what this has to do with anything, frankly.
Making things too real now, Moxie.
Oh look, they skipped something without any explanation why. Lovely here.
My favorite type of skip card. I sure do love not knowing why something was skipped over.
If I had a nickel for every time I laughed at this video, I'd have 0 nickels, which isn't a lot. Okay, that's a lie. I would have 1 nickel because I laughed when the Knuckles head appeared on my screen. But /SRS, I'm not really a big fan of this whole shtick of just saying a point, but in a super duper too cool for school sarcastic tone. I mean, on its own, it's usually fine, but here it just really doesn't work. Because for one, Kagura literally already made that exact point, so you're not adding anything to it, you're just saying the same point point again. And 2, this is such a nothing criticism that this level of talking down just feels obnoxious and unwarranted. Like, do we really need an explanation for why they skipped something? Can't we just think about it for like 2 seconds and arrive at the conclusion that they just didn't have anything to say about the portion they skipped? What explanation do you even need? Like, I could understand wanting to know what was skipped, but both of you were specifically asking why, so like, what's your damage?
Yeah, what? How did you do that?
You are aware that Sonic can control the emeralds, right? He kept them wherever he keeps them and pulled them out when he needed to.
Alright, Tony Sonic, you can't just be making claims about the Sonic the Hedgehog lore without proof or evidence. We're gonna have to see your license.
Well, that cop attitude aside, let's assume that he is able to control the Chaos Emeralds. Shari's complaint wasn't that he couldn't, it was that the game never established on how he's able to control the Chaos Emeralds.
I'm just really confused right now. I don't really like that genre of commentary where they're just pointing at the screen and going, I have no idea what just happened. But I don't even know what you're trying to get across here. Are you trying to say that Shari's confusion was about the specific mechanics as to how Sonic controls the Chaos Emeralds? Because I don't even see why that's something we should be concerned with. Like, imagine that being applied to literally anything else. Ugh, how can Sonic run so fast? It's never explained. It doesn't really matter. It's something Sonic can do, and it's something he's always been able to do. And either way, Chari's statement of how did he do that was so vague that it could easily be interpreted as a literal question of what just happened, so Tony's explanation would still be a valid one.
Also that he just has the Chaos Emeralds for reasons I also got established, but let's discuss this whole he can control the Chaos Emeralds thing. Yes, in numerous Sonic games, he does pull the emeralds out of hammer space to turn super. However, he still needs to collect or recollect them in each game where that's a mechanic. See the Genesis Trilogy of Knuckles, the 8-bit titles, Sonic 3D Blast, the Advanced Trilogy, Sonic Heroes, the Rush Duology, and the handheld versions of Colors, Generations, and Lost World. That's how I gave in to how this mythical Chaos Emerald control goes strangely unused in the Adventure Duology, where that would have been really useful in foiling Eggman's plans. You're under arrest, by the way.
Okay, this point has officially gone completely off the rails. When Tony said that Sonic could control the Chaos Emeralds, he didn't mean that as in Sonic can just have them whenever he wants. He flat out said that Sonic's control over the Chaos Emeralds is just being able to manipulate them when they're in his possession. It even operated under the assumption that Sonic already had the emeralds. And by the way, Sonic already having collected the emeralds before the events of the game is not an unprecedented scenario. In Sonic 3, he's just freely turning into Super Sonic at the beginning of the game before Knuckles knocks the emeralds out of him.
My name is Kagura.
So I don't think it's an unreasonable assumption to make that he just already had collected the emeralds before going to take on Eggman.
Okay, wait, you expect me to believe that the Egg-O-Matic is faster than Super Sonic?
Well, Eggman does have a head start, is zigzagging between the airships, and kept up just fine in Advance 3.
How stupid do you think your audience is, Tony? Oh, right. Ignoring the fact Supersonic can blast through anything in sight, zigzagging is not going to lose Supersonic by any means. And the Advanced 3 comparison is dumb because, well, it's a gameplay usage, so it's not very realistic to begin with. In fact, name one game prior to this one that he's outsped regular Sonic, let alone Supersonic, and don't use the classic games as an example, because those are actual gameplay sources and not his actual speed.
So you interject only to ask how stupid Tony's audience is. Great argument, 10 out of 10, definitely doesn't make you look condescending.
Are we just going to ignore the point that came after she said that? Because, yeah, it was condescending, but it wasn't the only thing she said.
Huh, I didn't know we were secretly partaking in a Game Champ 3000 challenge on this entire time. The semantics are strong in this one.
Isn't there a point you two are supposed to be arguing?
Yeah, the one that proves what Kagura just said completely wrong. Funny you mentioned that. Also, I'm gonna go into conniptions if I don't mention this, but would it have killed you to give Destroyer Shy's part a different voice?
It's more like the subtitles are incorrect.
Because when I'm listening to the video in the background, it's really annoying having to recalibrate my brain in order to try and remember which one of the obviously fake British accents is the one that's canon to Pokesonic lore.
Oh yes, Eggman and Sonic Adventure 2. That's not a classic game, so it obviously counts. I'm getting around the semantics, you see. And don't forget about the racing games, where Eggman can actually beat Sonic in a race, if he's good enough.
I am so glad that I, someone who has never played any of these games, is able to follow their points and know exactly what they're talking about. Completely unrelated, but how much do you want to bet they get onto one of their previous degrees for not showing evidence?
Also, you know your earlier example on how Supersonic is able to blast through everything in sight? Yeah, you didn't provide any footage to back it up your claim, so it makes your point unable to be taken at face value regardless of if the information is correct or not, since you didn't provide any proof of your claim.
Yes, this is the same interjection. Why do you ask?
I'd make a dick joke, but, well, the screen speaks for itself.
Chari says boner.
Okay, if you're going to keep stealing jokes, at least use them correctly. He said dick, not boner. Yes, I get that they're similar, but you're still using the joke incorrectly.
As for you, Destroyer Shine, the words dick and boner can get across the same idea as that it's an adult joke. I really don't see why you would interject something completely pandemic at the end of the day, other than just point it out as synonym for the word dick.
I'm sorry, but if you are going to Sinjari for, in Tony's exact words, saying boner, you should probably play a part where he actually says boner.
Destroyer Shine somehow thinks both words are different cliche.
Are they not? Kagura, do you know what a penis is? Okay, after that, I don't really have anything to say about any of their other points. They're all fine. But I do have something to say about the final thoughts because, well, it doesn't really have anything to do with the rest of the video. Poke just goes off on some pretty gross behavior Destroyer Shy was involved in.
See, aside from what Kagura already brought up in regards to your behavior being covered, there's also the reason why you're no longer in this community. To put it bluntly, the safety of minors was not a particular priority. From not properly child-locking an NSFW chat in their public server as brought by someone named Shatterpoint, to venting to 4 different minors in DMs. Specifically, Pepper, Hana, Morgan, and Sonic. On that note, that's not getting into the highly inappropriate conversations you had with Sonic in particular.
So what's my issue here? Well, it really just comes down to the tone of the video. Like, this is a video arguing about Sonic the Hedgehog, and all of a sudden, at the very end, it's completely derailed just to acknowledge Shy's inappropriate conduct with minors. Like, that's weird, right? This has nothing to do with the rest of the video. In fact, it's almost undermining what Shy did, just attack it at the end of a random commentary. And the tone of the coverage has been pretty lighthearted. You can tell they were not prepared at all to tackle something this serious. And it's not like this is something that needed to be acknowledged. As far as I'm aware, this is the first time the allegations against Destroyer Shy have ever been brought up publicly, unless Shy herself mentioned it in a community post or something, which I doubt. It's been a completely private affair, and I do not understand why you thought this would be the right time or place to make it public.
Okay, last minute editing note, because I found this out after I started working on the video. Apparently Poke didn't even get permission from the victims to put this in the video. What the fuck?
I'm still kind of reeling from this, to be honest. Like, you understand how this sort of takes away from the gravitas of the situation, right? You get that putting it in the same video where Kagura 101 tries to deliver an Amazon package is gonna make it feel really weird, right? Like, I basically had to uproot a joke video just to talk about this, and I'm willing to bet some of you in the audience are starting to understand how wild the whiplash is. My point is, you can either have an honest conversation about Shy's inappropriate behavior, or you can have a funny skit with your British butler character. You can't have both. Anyway, yeah. I still don't know how to end videos.
I made a point.